I want justice. She didn't deserve it. Under no circumstances. My baby was dropping her baby out to school. And what hurt the most is I didn't get my morning phone call.
The family is unaware of what the police are doing, so we can't answer those questions. What we would like is that justice come in the form of accountability.
The state of Illinois, we're calling on them to open an office of civility. Civility has steps to be able to deal with the issue of violence.
It's been months since the tragic loss of Romeca Meeks Blackman in the South Loop, and while one person is behind bars, the community is asking one burning question. Where is the arrest warrant for Carlos Smith? Witnesses say he was more than just a bystander. Reports of a headlock and a fist bump have sparked international outrage. Why haven't security agents moved in? Is the legal system failing Romeca's family, or is there a loophole we aren't? You believe Carlos Smith should be charged as an accomplice to murder. Imagine dropping your 6-year-old son off at school. It's a normal Monday morning in Chicago's South Loop. You kiss him goodbye, walk back to your car, and within minutes, you are fighting for your life. That was the reality for Romeca Meeks Blackman on September 8, 2025. The shooter, Quadaja Holly Johnson, is behind bars facing first-degree murder. But there is a second shadow in every witness report, every police statement, and every viral video from that day. Carlos Smith. Witnesses say he held Romeca in a headlock. They say he watched. They even say he fist-bumped the killer while Romeca lay dying on the pavement. Why is he still free today? We aren't just talking about a tragedy. We are talking about a massive gap in between what actually happened and what American justice system is looking at. Why hasn't Carlos Smith been arrested? Why are security agents letting him walk while a mother is in the ground? Grab a seat. We're going deep into the evidence the courts are ignoring as the next court hearing is scheduled for April 1, 2026. If you are watching for the first time, take a moment and click the subscribe button. If you haven't subscribed before now, please click the subscribe button. This keeps the channel going. Your support for justice is truly appreciated. Now the crime. What the witnesses saw to understand why the streets are screaming, "Arrest him now." We have to look at what happened in those final seconds. According to prosecutors and multiple eyewitnesses, this wasn't just a one-on-one fight. So this is not a self-defense case. Point 1. The restraint. Witnesses told Chicago PD that Carlos Smith allegedly held Romeca in a headlock or a chokehold. If this is true, he didn't just watch, he immobilized her, making her a stationary target for the shooter. So this is not one-on-one fighting. This is 2 against 1, am I correct? Even if it was, which is not so. Does that mean you should shoot a young mother who is armless? Point 2. The firearm. While Carlos allegedly held her, Quadaja Johnson went to her vehicle, retrieved a handgun, and opened fire. Multiple times. Look at the timeline. He was allegedly holding Romeca. Johnson walked out of the fight, walked to her car, and while going she was shouting, "I'm gonna shoot you, bitch. Watch me shoot you, bitch." Opened the car door, looked for the handgun, picked it up, walked perhaps a bit back to the fight, and shot Romeca multiple times. Multiple times for what sake? Look at that timeline. What was Carlos doing during those moments if not holding Romeca? Why would you have to shoot her multiple times? To be sure she doesn't survive. This pattern carries distinct forensic characteristics. In behavioral criminology, overkill is defined as the infliction of wound trauma exceeding what is required to cause death. The additional shots, combined specifically with the close-range facial wound, meet the documented criteria for overkill with target personalization. Point 3. The coldness. The most haunting detail. The fist bump. While Romeca was down, reports surfaced that Carlos and Quadaja shared a celebratory gesture before leaving the scene. Carlos has denied this, but the public hasn't forgotten. If you are still watching, type in the comments box, "I'm here." Let know who has paid attention to this stage. And don't forget to subscribe. So, if the witnesses saw this, why isn't he in an orange jumpsuit next to Quadaja? It comes down to a frustrating legal concept called specific intent and accountability. In Illinois, prosecutors often secure the shooter first. Quadaja is the principal. To arrest Carlos, They have to prove he knew she was going to shoot and intended for it to happen. Carlos's legal team likely argues he was trying to break up the fight. They are using the chaos of the moment as a shield. But the community asks, if you're breaking up a fight, do you hold someone down while your other partner gets a gun? Remember, Carlos was briefly handcuffed in December during a heated court appearance where Romeca's family confronted him. But he was released shortly after. This catch and release cycle is what's fueling the viral outrage. Why is it vital for security agents and the state's attorney to act now? Because of the precedent it sets. Number 1, public safety. If you can assist in a homicide and walk free because you didn't pull the trigger, what does that say about the law in Chicago? Number 2, the family's fight. Romeca's mother and sisters have been at every hearing. They aren't just asking for Quadage's conviction. They are asking for the accessory to be held accountable. They've turned their grief into a movement.
My baby was dropping her baby out to school. And what hurt the most is I didn't get my morning phone call.
The family is unaware of what the police are doing, so we can't answer those questions. What we would like is that justice come in the form of accountability.
Number 3, the power of digital evidence. We know there is surveillance footage from the school and surrounding businesses. Is that footage being suppressed? Or does it tell a story the police aren't ready to act on yet? Number 4, to prevent such from happening again. If this case, if not properly handled, someone somehow out there might think he could act as an accomplished shooter and still walk free. As we stand here in late March, the clock is ticking. Quadaja Johnson remains in custody, reportedly pregnant and awaiting her next major hearing on April 1, 2026. Few days to come. Attorneys are currently trading evidence. This is the quiet zone of a trial, but for the public, the silence is deafening. Every day Carlos Smith posts on social media or walks the streets is a day the Meeks family feels the system has not done enough. The call for indictment. Legal experts suggest that a grand jury could still indict Carlos if new witness testimony or clearer video forensics emerge. This is why the arrest him now hashtag is so important. It keeps the pressure on the state's attorney's office. Romeca Meeks Blackman was a mother, a daughter, and a vibrant soul who lived her life in pink. She deserves more than a partial justice. She deserves for everyone involved in her final moments to answer to a judge. Do you believe Carlos Smith should be charged as an accomplice? Or do you think the law is right to wait for more evidence? The comments section is open. Let's talk about it, but keep it respectful for Romeca's family. To understand why the police haven't moved on Carlos Smith, we have to look at Illinois compiled statutes, specifically 720 ILCS 552. This is the accountability law. In Chicago, you don't have to pull the trigger to be a murderer. You just have to solicit, aid, abet, or agree to help. Think about the pressure on the detectives right now. If they arrest him too early and a judge throws it out, they can never try him again for this crime. Double jeopardy. They are likely waiting for digital forensics, text messages between Carlos and Quadaja from that morning. Did they plan this? Was it a setup? That's what will get him 20 to life. The internet didn't just watch this case, it investigated it. Let's look at the digital footprint left behind, the live videos. Shortly after the shooting, Carlos Smith went live on Instagram. In a documentary-style breakdown, we see a man who isn't mourning but defending. He claimed he was a peacemaker, but viewers noticed his body language. In true crime, we look for leakage, small movements that betray the truth. There were reports of deleted social media posts from both Quadaja and Carlos weeks before the shooting that suggested a boiling point was reached. Why haven't these been used to arrest him yet? Because social media is circumstantial. It shows motive, but it doesn't always show the crime. Let's talk about the most controversial claim in this entire case, the fist bump. This single alleged gesture changed the public's view of Carlos Smith from a witness to a villain. A teacher at the school reportedly told investigators that the atmosphere after the shots were fired wasn't one of panic, but of completion. If a fist bump occurred, it proves common design. It proves they were on the same team. Carlos has called this a lie.
I'm just tired of the lies and everything, what they said I did. I know for a fact it wasn't true. I didn't hear lock her. I didn't beat her with the door. I only try to diffuse the situation. They keep deflecting away from that. And what I did what they saying I did made it sound harsh, and I didn't do that. So we need justice. We need justice to be served too, the truth.
But in a case with no clear video of the hand gesture, it's his word against the witnesses. Is there hope for an arrest? History says yes. Look at the case of Jackie Robinson or other Chicago accountability cases. Often, the planner or the restrainer is arrested 6 to 12 months after the shooter. Why? Because the state uses the shooter's trial to flip them against the accomplice. Will Quadaja Holly Johnson take the fall alone, or will she tell the truth about Carlos to get a shorter sentence? That is the card the state is holding. To the public, the Romeca Meeks case seems like an open and shut instance of accomplice liability. You see a man reportedly holding a woman in a headlock while she's being shot, and you think, that's murder. But in an Illinois courtroom, it's not that simple. We operate under 720 ILCS 552, the law of accountability. In Illinois, accessory isn't its own charge. You are either accountable, meaning you are just as guilty as the person who pulled the trigger, or you aren't. To prove Carlos Smith is accountable, the state's attorney must demonstrate that before or during the shooting, he had the specific intent to promote or facilitate that murder.
Dark complexion.
The shooter stayed on the scene, and as you can see, a witness pointed out the shooter to police. One of the witnesses also said the father of Blackman's child had her in a headlock before the shots were fired.
I'm licensed to carry.
It doesn't matter.
You shot somebody. What the wrong with you? The man in the shorts is CJ's father. He's covered in blood.
How did she just walk away? How? When they told you that he had her in the headlock, how did he even walk away? Why did they was so easy to walk away? They tell me, look at the video, they bumping fences. I don't know about any of that because I really can't even focus.
According to legal experts, the prosecution has a powerful tool called the common design rule. This rule says that if two people agree to commit one crime, say, a battery or an assault, and then one of them takes it further and commits a murder, both are equally responsible for that death. The design of the group becomes the act of the individual. So if Carlos held Romeca down, isn't that enough? It's a massive piece of evidence, but it's a double-edged sword. Carlos's defense will likely argue mere presence. They will say he was there, perhaps even involved in a struggle, but he had no knowledge that Quadaja Johnson had a gun or intended to use it. If he didn't know the gun was there, the state struggles to prove he shared the intent to kill. This is why we haven't seen an arrest yet. The state is likely waiting for digital smoking guns. They are scrubbing text messages and call logs to see if there was a prearranged plan. In a high-profile case like Romeca's, an incorrect arrest can lead to a not guilty verdict that can never be reversed. The agents aren't being slow, they are being surgical. If you want to stay updated on the April 1st hearing and the fight to arrest Carlos Smith, hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications. We aren't letting this story go cold.
We are here to support an amazing baby.
Anybody want to mark?
I am broken. I am so broken. The love she showed everybody. Y'all showed it all. I ask that you give us strength. Give us strength, Father, for every one of us, because we're going to need it in this moment. Justice for me. Justice for me.
Justice for Romeca. I will see you in the next one.